This is AOE2hostage versus Mike CSL. We're a bit into the Dark Age here, but I hope I didn't miss too much. It's doing full circle here, thinking that TC might be in the ditch over here, so that's good thinking, but in the end, this is where the enemy is at, and AOE2hostage currently not really paying attention. It passed right next to the barriers, could at least snipe some geese here, but oh, just nobly sacrificing the scout to enemy town center fire here. That tends to be good luck though, if we're going to think about the previous cast here with It's Daddy's game as well. Now getting Loom, queuing another villager, dropping the mill. That's fairly late, even for the Franks. That's a bit of a late mill, but who am I to judge? And here comes Mike CSL with the incredibly forward barracks here, right on AOE2hostage's walls, and he's not joking around. Oh, I'm sorry I missed the beginning of this game, because this is AOE2hostage playing the fairly standard drush approach with the Franks here, but Mike CSL will have none of it. He actually drops the barracks forward here, but in the meantime AOE2hostage is able to drop some walls here before the Malians player can even get to the first production of, well, stuff. So the drush is on point here. Gonna be chasing one villager here, but AOE2hostage chooses to move about a little bit further here to try and find other exposed resources, like for example the woodland here. Good reaction by Mike CSL here. This should also be in the 1500s range, by the way. Now the barracks is up for Mike CSL, did not go to gold whatsoever, so this is just a very aggressive forward drush from the Malians. Could be an extended drush approach, Goff's style here. I like what AOE2hostage is doing here with the gate, is using the fact that you get elevation advantage for any unit. So you deal a little bit extra damage from uphill, which means that AOE2hostage might actually be able to break this gate before Mike CSL can complete the repairs. And Mike CSL isn't even reacting here. Is Mike going to let the militia in here? I mean, it's still decent damage. Wasting some wood here. Whatever that follow-up was planned for Mike CSL here is not going to place an archery range or a stable here with the feudal age kicking in, because of the repair costs and the idle time of a villager moving all the way to enemy base. Something that AOE2hostage doesn't have scouted actually, but the walls are going up here. It's a Drush FC or Drush FC approach here, Drush fast cattle approach for the Franks here. And it might succeed, but the feudal age is kicking in from Mike CSL here. The men-at-arms will indeed be affordable. And there's a hole, isn't there? How is that the hole? How? How? Thank you very much. I'll just pass right through here. And then she's probably going to drop a forward archery range or a tower or something. Thanks! See you later, alligator. And that leaves Mike CSL in a great spot to just tower this one and only gold, or wall in this one, or yeah, I don't even know what the plan is here, but starts with a forward house, the very aggressive house tactic here, well-known one, while the drush AOE2hostage is still alive, but not really doing too much at home base for the yellow player, red player. Yellow didn't even notice the villager. Where's the villager? Oh, it's there. She's hiding behind her own red house. Oh. And she's fleeing. Make a range viper. Maybe. Maybe. Or just stay snuck in the corner here. Well, the men-at-arms are doing damage. The militia kind of still are as well, because they're draining the wood income of Mike CSL here. And I guess AOE2hostage still didn't find that. Why is she only building houses? Why? 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 Why, Jane? Why? Why are you house walling your opponent out like this? What's the purpose of these forward houses? Can't you at least make a tower or some palisade walls to deny gold access here? Okay, I can see why AOE2hostage would go Drush Fast Castle here. It's go 1 gold here, 1 gold here. Woodline safe, woodline safe. Very decent as well. And finally, the tower goes up. Outside of the range of AOE2hostage yet again. Oh, one men-at-arm going down there, but they are Maldian's men-at-arms. They will survive for longer than you'd think to enemy aggression because of the extra pierce armor of the Maldians. Sneaky, sneaky. Alright. So AOE2hostage feels competent now. Thinks that, yeah, she's only building houses. She's no threat. She's not the problem. But guess what? She's building a tower now. In the fog of war. As a couple of archers have picked off the rush over there finally. Didn't really do any damage. AOE2hostage only lost 1 villager, which is good as well, given that Red has been in the space all along. Yes, the fuck off war. Fuck off war. Why are you targeting the men-at-arms and the scout? Why not the villager building this tower? More houses. Yeah, this is the house, the outpost rush that's outdated. This is actually the house rush. This is actually the house rush. Now enter the archers follow-up. So it is men-at-arms into archers here from Mike CSL. AOE2hostage. Could go Castle Age here. There it is. Yeah. Blacksmith range. Now he's missing the second building. That's why he hadn't picked. He had the resources, but not the building. And here comes the range. He was missing the blacksmith, I think. I think he was missing the blacksmith. He had the range. But he needed a second building to go up. And now goes the market to free up some gold as well, I guess. But he does have the gold in the back, so that's not really a bad idea. Is this Frank Cav Archer time? Yeah, it's don't get your hopes up, Dennis. I don't think AOE2hostage is that kind of player, but never say never. And now he's breaking out. Is the villager joining as well? Ah, yeah, she's joining. She's had enough of this. She didn't get to complete her home here because of an offensive enemy tower, so might as well just back off. Mike CSL lagging significantly behind here. The offensive's not really doing enough damage. It's a 7 villager lead. It's more idle TC for AOE2hostage, but also not nearly enough. It's like Castle Age is kicking in now for AOE2hostage, which means that you could queue a couple of knights as well to clean up the men-at-arms, maybe go for some counter-aggression here. Or just get crossbow and counter-attack with them instead. Yeah, it is indeed crossbow. Did have 6 archers there to benefit from the upgrades. And that should provide some decent counter-aggression as well. Now double barracks for Mike CSL here, or triple I should say, since there's one forward as well. So I think Mike plans to hold off the incoming crossbows with more men-at-arms, or should I say longswords maybe, when the Castle Age gets there. Yeah, it's gonna go men-at-arms, or spears. Well, they still have that extra pierce armor as well, the spears, so it might actually work out. Pretty healthy farm economy here. There's Mike CSL hasn't really been hit at home for a long while since the Rush does lose a villager there. I think so that's... No, never mind actually. Not losing a villager. Still has the forward barracks. Gas laser on the way. Why the Spearman though? Probably expecting the Knights follow-up of the ranks, so I guess those are going to become pikes eventually. No Frank Skywatcher, that is, sorry. It's just you and out. Just you and out. And now replenishing the the lumber camp in the middle of crossbow fire. That seems ambitious for a small woodline like this. Gas stage kicks it. Oh, it's open! It's open! Sacre bleu! And AOE2hostage gets some very much welcome counter aggression in here. With these 6 crossbows, we'll have some knights joining in eventually as well. Gets that first defense before moving out at all. And if you really want to be a dick here, you kill all these forward houses as well, and maybe Mike CLSL will end up being housed. But for now, the forward crossbows are getting amazing output here. They kill 2 eco units and 7 units total over here. Also forcing Mike CSL into a bit of skirmishes. And chasing with the so-called Champ Scarls here, the longswordsman with some extra piece armor. All in champs are overrated. As with everything, it depends. There's not much stopping the Malian's longswords rush in Castle Age if you pull it off with proper timing. And we're in. But looking at the Knights' numbers of AOE2hostage, these longswords shouldn't really be an issue. Where are the spearmen? Where are the spearmen? Why are the spearmen dead? Did they all die to the crossbows or what? This is going to be a slaughter for AOE2hostage here. Great defense, great recovery, great reaction here to go into the double stable Knights here to switch. And now the Malian player shouldn't have made longswords at all. Should have gone straight into camels here to handle the Knights' investment of the Franks here. Triple barracks or quadruple if you count this one. So there's still the option of pikemen. Here it comes pikemen for only 3 spearmen here. Ay. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. AOE2hostage holding off with the Knights here could almost engage here, but I guess Mike just has a tiny bit too many units here, has the +2 defense in as well. And but the Knights production increasing as well, and the Scorpions being added here, which would switch up the advantage of the fights here by a lot for AOE2hostage here if he gets some good Scorpion shots in. Good addition there against the full infantry play of Mike CSL here. And now using a couple of these Knights to counter-engage as well to cripple the farming economy of Mike CSL, which will eventually limit the infantry or any army production really as a result. Knight Scorpion hard one for Malians to deal with at this stage in the game, unless they go into cavalry of their own, which they can. Their buildings are, wooden buildings are cheaper, so it should be a fairly easy switch for the Malians to go into a couple of stables here and stop making longswords and pikes, make some knights or whatever is that. What's the knight count at? It's 18 knights to, well, 15 more infantry or military total for Mike CSL, but now the Scorpions are here to get some juicy shots in on the infantry. I think this is a worthwhile fight for AOE2hostage to take for sure. Look at the economy difference here. More villagers, better economy, easier for AOE2hostage to replenish units here. It's looks like a better fight for the knights here, but they are lacking the castle age upgrades, so that's probably why they didn't trade better here. But these Scorpions will still diminish the numbers here, and AOE2hostage still is able to replenish the knights' numbers. A bit unfortunate not to have at least the second defense in there, or maybe the second attack even, to take out enemy units more quickly, but yeah, keeping the enemy aggression out is arguably more important here. The only aggressive part inside of AOE2hostage's base here is Mike CSL 4 houses. Well, Mike is in. And again, AOE2hostage with that one knight counter-attacking here to get some pretty crazy raiding value here, potentially. There's no armies here to deal with that one, so Mike will have to rely on the AOE2hostage not paying attention to this one, garrison the TC and take it out that way, or add some units to deal with it, and that's what he's doing. The aggression is more heavy on AOE2hostage's side, but it's 30 villagers lead for AOE2hostage at this time. 3 TC is now going to stone as well to get some castles up on the hills, the exposed areas here, and it's easier for the Franks to do so. They do get 25% cheaper castles. One thing is for sure, and that's that we're not going to see any Imperial Age anytime soon. If you look at these bars here, that's the food and gold needed for Imperial Age, and these tabs, they are the buildings needed. You can see the market price is increasing as well. It's 100 food for 150 gold now for Mike CSL, so it's struggling for food, but that's probably because of these mini raids of AOE2hostage, impairing the farm economy, and just now that second TC is being added, and it's going to take a long time for Mike CSL to catch up here. We'll have to do a lot of damage for that to really work out. Oh, I get so confused by these poor red dots inside of AOE2hostage's space, but that's still only houses. Nothing too much to worry about. It's full infantry aggression. Mike CSL really believes in the Malians infantry. Does he believe too much though? It's indeed, I guess the pikes are taking decent trades here, +2 attack coming in as well, but AOE2hostage either just needs a second building or the castle to go to the Imperial Age, and then could transition some or trade some resources to get there. You don't really keep this infantry aggression out only just through town center garrisoning though, because the Malians units have +2 extra pierce armor now. The pikes and the longswords, they have +4 pierce armor total. Actually 5 for the longswords, so they're tankier than you'd expect at this point. So if they get arson in as well and take out buildings more swiftly, they could be dangerous. But here comes the castle in the midst of the farming and units production. Here AOE2hostage does not opt for Imperial Age here, but spends the gold for units instead, which makes sense. Yeah, it will make it easier to keep the aggression out as well. Some panic repairs here, maybe it will work out. Castle goes up, knights reproducing here, and still AOE2hostage keeps that builder lead. 9 stables producing now for or 7 stables, is it? 7 stables for AOE2hostage to deal with the infantry spam here. Only longswords now for Mike CSL. That really doesn't make sense against cavalry, because 1 knight alone has twice the hit points of longswords and better attack. And that PF's armor doesn't matter at all in this case, because it's melee attack. Still only Feudal Age upgrades on knights, so please get at least some extra defense. Throwing Axemen being added as well. They deal a ranged melee attack, so that's a good addition against an infantry investment. It's actually one of the rank's best responses to pikeman switches of the opponent. More forward houses. I think that's a fight AOE2hostage could have taken, considering that there are only 5 pikes in the mix here. The pikes deal bonus damage against cavalry, but the longswords don't really. So that would be a decent trade. Mike needs to add Angry Woman to deal with throwing axe thingies. Yes. Geppetto vs Axeman, that would be a cool one to see matched up. Yeah, diving in here now, AOE2hostage, I think it wants some cover fire, but I still think it's... Oh, only 10 knights now. Maybe not. Maybe not. So Mike has been left free, I wouldn't say booming, but with the economy running freely at home for a while now. Stand before barracks to the side there as well, just swearing to the infantry investment, AOE2hostage adding some light cav as well. I think it's just more of an annoyance that this. I think the Geppetto has more range, right, than this? Or fire faster or something. Yeah, I think the Geppetto has better range. I think their standard range is like 5 or something. Alright, finally one TC about to be eaten here, but the AOE2hostage doesn't commit to repairs this time, just dives, runs away, and brings in the throwing Axeman. Yeah, faster firing speed and higher attack, but I think I still think they have a tiny bit better range as well. Alright, so after this game we need to do a community game or something, like find a map Black Forest Regicide or something. Light cab incoming here, Frank's light cab to the raids, still no sign of Imperial Age here, of course, it's full cast age for both. And the economy is way ahead for AOE2hostage here. Higher idle TCS, but also more TCs, so that brings a better economy to the table. And might just make his way to the Imperial Age here, getting arson even. Are we going to see some... Wait, does that affect throwing Axemen? Maybe of course it affects throwing Axemen. It's a melee ranged attack, so it probably affects the throwing Axemen as well. Interesting. That never even occurred to me. But yeah, it's going to affect any future pikes or champions for the Franks as well. It does affect them. Cool. Cool. So now the throwing Axemen have 3 attack against buildings. Yeah, I think AOE2hostage has reason to feel confident now. It's still another raid of infantry entering home base. Mike CSL with the Imperial Age on the way. What's that imp gonna give though? It gives 200 swordsmen, it gives Elite Geppetto, it gives Farimba Light Cab, but the economy doesn't warrant any of that. Not even a castle for the Malians here, only 2 TCs and now subject to some light cab raids here that requires some attention. Throwing Axemen with their ranged melee attack will shred this infantry with some help from TC Fire. And yeah, they're going to clean this up. I did not retire, sir, just wasn't at home, says Alconer. Yes, yeah, we just haven't seen you around for a long time. When we've been playing me and Dennis as well, Alconer, so we are almost worried you'd given up on AOE2 and moved on with life. Alright. 30C for Amalius, never too late, they say, but Mike CSL still 50 villagers behind. Even the Imperial Age can't really say Mike CSL here. AOE2hostage is slightly behind the military, yes, but has a much healthier economy and is keeping a tiny bit of pressure up and probably knows at this point that he is ahead in economy. Is it true that Germany is jealous of Turkish economy? Yeah, real life has been calling for me last month as well, Alconer. I can perfectly understand. Has Mike CSL been making anything aside from longswords and pikemen this game? I think I saw a couple of skirmishers at some point in the Feudal Age, but that just doesn't really matter. It's full longswords and pikes. Mike just refuses to give up on the infantry efforts here. 2 other swordsmen is in. Plate mail armor is in. And if there's no murder holes, you could technically eat this castle, but there's too many 200 swordsmen here to worry about. Spread the quickly building quite fast here though. Is it fun to get your ass kicked though, Alconer? But yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Beer count. Come by. There's the Imperial Age for AOE2hostage as well. Elite Throwing Axemen coming in immediately here. And I guess in the cast age should get potentially get Bearded Axe as well. It's proving a point that I need to play more 1v1s. Yeah. I haven't been playing too much 1v1s lately either. Look at these guys. You're supposed to have base accuracy of 100%. What does this say about you? Do we need to get ballistics for throwing axemen or what? Who loses against Lonzo Wall? All of us, I think, these days, Alconer. Me, you, and Dennis. He's 1500-ish at top score anyway. So much infantry, 55, 200 swordsmen here, and a tiny bit of light cab raids here. AOE2hostage has been getting about half the eco kills compared to Mike CSL, but now the TCs are being rebuilt here to establish some farming economy here. Throwing Axemen during the thing against longswords as well. And Mike CSL, seriously, do have to be running out of gold soon. Side gold still? Still a couple of times. Why is infantry so cheap? How can infantry eat castles like this? Malian bonus. Ah, true. Yeah. I guess if you only make pikes and 200 swordsmen, you could make your gold last forever with the Malians. Last 30% longer or something. No, Bohemians didn't steal the Malians' old bonus. Malians would still get the eco upgrades for gold. Bohemians just get them without researching them. So it's not the same. But it's definitely better for the Malians, regardless. No, Malians had gold mining in addition to that. So Malians had faster gold mining without researching anything. And then they could research gold mining in feudal age as well, and getting even faster. Someone taking screenshots. Yes. Not gonna lie, this has to be so annoying to deal with. Even playing as the Franks here and conserving your economy, holding this shit, just forced to mass Axemen to deal with constant Malian spam, and knowing that you yourself will run out of gold sooner. I mean, you can't really starve Malians of gold, right? You have to hold off against this and try to counterattack somehow, and there are some raids going on there. You need to block that golden combo or farming combo or whatever to stop this spam, I think. Yeah, exactly. You have to defend all the time, and that's what I'm saying. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And I would have 9 out of 10 times given up long ago. Yeah, this spam is never gonna end. And there's not... How many barracks actually? 3, 4... It's not even a crazy amount of barracks. They just train rather quickly. I love the constant... small counter raid efforts here with the light cav though. Forcing a reaction at home base and you're gonna lose villagers and whatnot. That easy. Got lost again. I mean, these infantry units, when you get to two-handeds and champions and everything, they just take out your buildings so quickly as well. In the meantime, Mike is gaining more vision of the map through outposts here of the neutral golds. Actually, neither of them have this neutral gold scouted, I think. So I like how AOE2hostage is now scouting for these extra neutral golds over here. Might just stumble upon that one. Neither of them collected any relics. It's not like there's been any time to collect relics here in the in the heat of the moment, so to say. It's just too much going on there. Hey, Arsec. Frank's champion, definitely an option, and the throwing axemen are already out, as we know. I'll just make a quick check to see the unique text here, if Bearded Axe is in. So, you don't really have that extra range from Bearded Axe, I think. Not that it should be a priority, but it would help. Speaking of, no, that's chivalry actually, to boost the cavalry production. Might just keep adding more military. Now he gets the castle up. I mean, it's a great castle spot in the middle hill here, but it's also going to allow Mike to get to research conscription here, which will boost the military and any military production by some percentage. 20%, I think. So that is going to help us spam quite a bit. Actually, some of these barracks got denied, so good spot by AOE2hostage here. Still confined to home base, but still surviving as well, still fighting at a higher population than the opponent. Has to be annoying as hell, so kudos for sticking with it here. Trebs being good for both players here, but looking at the wood gold economy, AOE2hostage is set to win the Treb war here simply because of better wood gold income here. Mike CSL, yes, still mining gold and creating or collecting wood, but the gold situation is of concern. They didn't have enough gold miners there for a moment. Yeah, two traps now, fighting uphill, admittedly, against this castle, but yeah, should still be okay, I think. Troy X-Men should be dealing with the pikemen here, and they're also keeping the Trebs safe from being sniped here. I mean, it's not like the infantry will be getting anywhere near these Trebs as long as there's Troy X-Men to defend them. No attempts at repairing the castle from Mike CSL. The stone is there, but the villagers aren't, and that castle is gonna fall, and that's frees up this hill once again between players. Allowing AOE2hostage to make some counter-attack efforts here. Maybe push further with Trebs, take out the production capabilities. Champions getting dangerously close to the throwing axemen here, so some throwing axemen going down here, but it's a lot of stuff going on here as well. You have to expand the economy to be able to keep producing here, and oh, AOE2hostage also has that third gold accessible still at this time in the game. More castles in the planning for sure. Is going to stone over here. Eco situation on Bike CSL, I mean, it's 42 on food, 16 on gold. I guess you don't really need more to keep that kind of ridiculous champion spam going here. It's 10 barracks now producing champions from Bike CSL. I don't think you had time to get to conscription from the castle, so still just regular generate production speed. But AOE2hostage still has the castle, still has the resources, still can make those elite throwing axemen and light cab here to turn the game around through raids and yeah, holding against the infantry efforts here with the axemen. At this point, looking at the eco, it might even be worthwhile to go into Cavalier here. The upgrades are almost complete for the cavalry, and it would give you a stronger raiding unit, and the pike numbers aren't really scary enough here for Cavaliers to worry about. Valiants don't get help, and their last attack upgrade for melee is missing as well, due to obvious reasons to not cause Farimba cavalry to be completely OP. He goes unstable up to the side, and so a castle from Mike CSL to the top side now to try and keep some raids out there. 1, 2 builders castle. If AOE2hostage spots this, that castle is not staying up for long. You could even task the builders to stop this one from going up over here. Almost 1 minute 15 seconds in here, and they're both at just... They're not exactly fighting at pop cap here past him. They're both at like 130 population, and one is just constantly trying to push the other, just holding. It's feels like a stalemate at this point, but at the same time it's not, because AOE2hostage has a much healthier economy behind this, or better eco setup. The only issue is that the Emalian's gold just runs out much more slowly due to the Emalian's bonus giving them longer lasting gold. More barracks. Mike CSL, I'm looking forward to seeing the both game stats here, because Mike CSL has only been making pikemen and champions here, and not anything else. Cattle got denied, no surprise there. 4 stables going up to the side as well, so AOE2hostage slowly claiming more map control here. Neither of them have spotted this. Oh wait, Mike CSL has actually spotted the gold to the side here as well. So that's definitely an option. Now forcing a defensive castle closer to home to keep the farming economy safer, but the light cav rates are getting closer. The throwing axemen, elite throwing axemen, with arson in and the appropriate upgrades, they are also going to take out buildings more quickly and efficiently here. And the light cav rates, that just might be the end of Mike CSL here, because if you can't keep your economy running, you also can't keep up the spam. Still got a market here. The market rate's still decent. You could still buy food at a not too crazy cost, but looking at the military numbers and the population, the eco population here, AOE2hostage has this one in the bag. It's a Cavalier and plate parting armor coming in here as well, and still has those 2 trebs at home as well to contest this defensive castle if need be. What the fuck? Infantry need buff. They literally just got that buff 6 months ago. Don't go home crying because your Malian's insistent infantry approach at 1600 didn't work out, Mike. That's not gonna get you anywhere. You literally only made champions and pikemen here, and you ran into AOE2hostage who has a more than decent, well above average defense here to just keep it, defend it at home, and yeah, well played. GG, well played. Crazy game, but a little bit too stubborn for the Malians here just to spam the infantry. Spam. Even if you have the gold and the resources for it, eventually you're going to it's going to backfire unless you're able to, I mean, stonewall in your economy and keep raids like this out and extend with a few castles in the front and etc. etc. I mean, I don't know what you could do here, but AOE2hostage sure did the right thing with the defensive reactions here. Axeman working out nicely, light cab, stray raids here and there. It shows in the eco KD screen as well, stats here, and yeah. Crazy game. Just browsing through the stats here to show the max filters. Actually, the tech uptimes are funny. Pretty late Castle Age and even later Imperial Ages here, and these spikes in APM here, showing that there's constant army action here from both. GG well played though.